My name is Tunde, and this is a story I never tell lightly. It happened in my mother's village, a small, quiet place in western Nigeria, deep in the heart of Oyo State. The memory still haunts me, even though it has been nearly 20 years. Back in the late 1990s, my cousin Adebayo and I spent our school holidays in our grandmother's house in the village. The village was peaceful, surrounded by dense forests, with old houses that had been standing for generations. Life there was simple, but there was always an unspoken rule. Never go near the abandoned house at the end of the village. It was said to be haunted by the spirits of twin girls, Ifedayo and Kemi. The tragic tale of Ifedayo and Kemi. The story goes that many years ago, the twins had been born to a poor but loving woman named Funke. In Yoruba culture, twins are considered special, sometimes even sacred, but for some reason, these two were feared. Villagers whispered that the girls had eerie, glassy eyes and that they spoke in unison, finishing each other's sentences even as toddlers. As they grew older, strange things began happening. Chickens were found dead in their cages with no wounds, yet their eyes were wide open in terror. Farmers claimed that their crops would wither overnight if the girls walked past their land. No one could explain it, but the villagers grew wary of Ifedayo and Kemi. Then, on the night of their 10th birthday, a tragedy occurred. Their mother had gone to the market in a nearby town and left them alone at home. A heavy storm broke out that night, and when the villagers awoke the next morning, they found the twins' house burned to the ground. Their bodies were never found. Some people claimed lightning struck the house, while others believed something darker had taken them. The return, even after their supposed deaths, the village was never the same. Strange whispers were heard at night near the ruins of their home. Some claimed to see two small figures standing at the edge of the forest, watching. Parents warned their children never to play near that area, but some did not listen, and those children always fell ill with fevers that could not be explained. I heard these stories growing up, but I never believed them. That was until Adebayo and I made a mistake one night. Our encounter one evening, we played a game of hide-and-seek with some of the village kids. The game led us dangerously close to the abandoned house. The place was nothing more than charred remains, with only the stone foundation left standing. It looked harmless, but as we approached, an unnatural chill filled the air. Adebayo, being the more daring of us, dared me to step inside what was left of the house. I hesitated, but not wanting to be called a coward, I took a step forward. That was when we heard it. A giggle. Not just any giggle, but the laughter of young girls, soft yet chilling. I froze. Adebayo grabbed my arm, and we turned to run. But we were too late. Standing just a few feet away were two girls. Their identical dresses were old and tattered, their faces pale, and their eyes, those eyes, were hollow and dark. Ifedayo. Kemi. Adebayo whispered, his voice barely audible. They tilted their heads in unison, staring at us. One of them raised a hand and pointed at me. "Why did you come here?" Their voices echoed together, though their mouths barely moved. I don't remember much after that. I only recall the feeling of icy fingers brushing against my shoulder before I screamed and blacked out. When I woke up, I was back at my grandmother's house. She and the village elders sat around me, whispering prayers. My cousin later told me that I had been found lying outside the ruins of the twins' home, unresponsive for hours. The warning. After that night, my grandmother forbade us from ever going near that area again. She explained that some spirits do not rest, especially those who suffered unjust deaths. Ifedayo and Kemi had never truly left. They lingered, waiting. I have never returned to that village since that incident. But sometimes, in my dreams, I still hear them giggling. And in the silence of the night, I feel as if someone is watching me,